So recently I came across a few items in game that I didn't even know existed until actually seeing it at that moment. So I thought it'd be a cool video to make where I go through items or unlocks or things that are less commonly known because many people probably don't even know these exist. Now don't get me wrong, many of you guys watching are going to go, "And I knew every single one of these." You're going to know them because you just know the game. But I'm going to guess for the average player and average viewer that you're probably not going to know all of these. So let me know in the comments how many out of 7 that you actually knew. First up is an ability that I can only assume has very little use. In fact, I personally can't think of a single good reason to actually have this. Unless it's part of like a comp requirement, maybe. I can't think of any other reason to grab it. So if you can't think of any, let me know. And that is the ability Aggression. Aggression is a basic ability, and you unlock it from doing Shattered Worlds. It's in the Shattered Worlds reward shop, and clearly I haven't spent enough time looking through the Shattered Worlds reward shop because I didn't know this was a thing. Basically, what it's going to do is when you activate it, which has a 90-second cooldown, it causes up to 8 monsters within a 5-tile radius to become aggressive and forced to attack you. So basically, think of an aggression potion, you drink it, everything in the area becomes aggressive and will attack you. This basically does that, but it's a single use and it has a 90-second cooldown. This seems incredibly useless, and I don't know if there's any reason to ever get it. There maybe is a super niche reason, so people may have to let me know, but I feel like they could probably take this off of any cooldown and just have it set to be able to be spammed because we have a potion that does the same thing. So maybe we could get the ability and you can use it manually, which means it's not AFK, but it still has the option to be able to press it. Could be useful then, maybe, but I'm going to assume another reason I've probably never heard of this is because it has very little use, if any. So this one's going to be more commonly known, but a lot of players probably have forgotten about it, or any people who haven't completed the Questcape may not even know this exists. For completing the Rumdeal quest, you will be given a Holy Wrench. Now, I have heard of the Holy Wrench in the past, but it is an item that I just completely forget about and will forget about once this video is finished, probably. What this does is when you actually have this in your inventory, when you drink like prayer potions, for example, you will get extra prayer points per dose, but it's something small. Like at level 99, a prayer potion will give you 20 extra points per dose. In my opinion, this is by far not worth the inventory slot, and so I can only assume that it's not really worth it. For example, a prayer renewal will only give an extra 30 points per dose. So if you desperately need more prayer, I don't know if it's worth it just bringing an extra potion and bringing this instead, but is there anybody watching this video right now that actually uses this and has a valid reason to use it? If so, let me know, but otherwise, I don't know what other use this would have. Next up is an item called Soul in a Box. This is what started this whole thing off because I had no idea that this was a thing, and then when I saw it, I was like, wait, what the frick is a Soul in a Box? So I looked it up on the wiki, had to read through it, and then I decided to make this video. Basically, Soul in a Box, you use Invention to make it. It takes level 24 Invention, and you basically use this to help with thieving and pickpocketing specifically. Now the wiki doesn't state exactly what this does, except that it summons a distracting soul that aids in pickpocketing. Now you're going to see here the person that was showcasing this for me, because of course I hadn't done the quest, they still actually get caught while pickpocketing. So this must just increase the chances that you don't get caught, right, by a little bit. However, the wiki or the actual page for this doesn't seem to give any information on how much by, unless I'm completely missing it somewhere, but I can't find the information on it. So if you know what this actually does in detail with description, that'll be pretty useful to know about. But I suppose if you're pickpocketing and you have access to this, you may as well bring it along because it's apparently going to help you out, even if it's just a little bit. Next up, we have the least talked about, or I guess because the least useful, Power Bursts. Now there's many different Power Burst potions. For example, the Power Burst of Vitality, most people are going to know this will double your life points for 6 seconds. The Power Burst of Acceleration makes you able to just surge and blade a dive continuously, and the Power Burst of Sorcery, for example, is going to give you extra runes per essence. So these are all things that I hear often about, but there is the Power Burst of Opportunity, which doubles the effects of Rocketunities and Archaeology time sprites for 15 seconds. This has a cooldown of 2 minutes. So every 2 minutes, you can get extra Rocketunities for 15 seconds. I can't imagine this is very useful at all. Ever? Has anybody ever used this? I don't know. As for the next one, the Power Burst of Master Stroke, it's basically going to, for the next 4 hammer swings within 30 seconds, smithing progress is multiplied by 10. This maybe saves you a little bit of time, but again, it's the 2-minute cooldown that kind of throws me off for this. It's 4 hammer swings in 30 seconds and a 2-minute cooldown. I don't know, it just doesn't really seem worth the effort, I suppose. Then you've got the power burst of feats. This basically makes it so that your familiar special move costs no special move points, but it only lasts 10 seconds. Now, this could be useful. This could be, to be fair. If you use this, you could have your Ripper Demon firing off loads of scroll attacks back to back to back to back. It costs no special move points for 10 seconds. I'm not too sure how many attacks you can get in 10 seconds, probably like an extra 5 or something. So this could increase your DPS a little bit. But then you can't use like a vitality potion, so you kind of have to weigh up whether you want to use this or use the vitality potion at some point in the fight. So even though many of you guys may be thinking, oh, I kind of knew these existed, they may have been something that kind of fell to the back of your mind and you never really think about because the uses are so niche or maybe not even used at all. Next up, we have the good old Imp in a Box. Now, to get an Imp in a Box, you need to actually have a magic box, which you can buy off the Grand Exchange, and then you can use that to catch yourself an Imp. You need to have level 71 Hunter, but it is going to basically allow you to use the Imp to bank items for you. The Imp in a Box will be able to take up to 2 items to the bank for you, and then it'll be consumed and you'll have to get another one. As far as I'm aware, this doesn't have a limit in terms of GP, so if you wanted to bank something expensive that maybe like a yak couldn't do for you, you'd be able to use this instead. I've heard of these in the past, but I figured a lot of people probably didn't know they were a thing, and so that's why they made it to this list. For this next one, we're going to be returning to the Shattered Worlds reward shop again, because like I said, I clearly didn't spend enough time reading this, but I also have never heard anybody talk about it, and that is the Kuradal's Favour ability. You heard of this? Probably not, right? I'm going to assume you may have like browsed over it and saw it at one point and then never thought about it again. But Kuradal's Favour is a basic constitution ability that you will get for 90 million shattered anima, but what it's going to do is for 30 seconds, all the monsters killed inside by the player in the Kuradal's dungeon will instantly respawn, including elite monsters. However, there is a catch to this. Monsters that are forced to be respawned by this do not drop any loot. So I could see this being useful if you want to blast through a task really quickly, but I do think the respawn times are already pretty quick in there, and since this lasts 30 seconds and has a 1-minute cooldown, it's not actually that long of a duration to not have it. So it does have some value, I do think. Actually, this could be probably one of the only ones that's in this video that actually has any use to people, but you're going to be trading off any loot for a faster task. Could be useful. Does anyone use this or not? I don't know. Let's let me know, but either way, it's definitely interesting. Finally, we're going to talk about the most often question that I get on stream, other than, hey, Innit, what are those ice spikes that are coming out of the ground? Which, of course, is Insight Fear. Well, the next often question is, Innit, what is that ability you have on keybind W, or E, depending which one it's on at the time? That is going to be the abilities from the Scare Tactics Codex. Now, of course, I've not had this question in a while since Necromancy, but before that, it was pretty much every single stream, people asking what that ability is. This is the shock or the horror or the root or whatever ability that you're going to be able to unlock from the Scare Tactics Codex. You can buy this on the Grand Exchange if you wanted to. It's only a couple of million GP, or you can get it from killing the Unspeakable Horrors. However, this is basically going to allow you to replace your regular stun abilities. For example, on magic, you will have impact and deep impact. You'll be able to replace those with shock and horror. What these do is, rather than just stunning, they still have the stun for the same duration, but you will actually move the target, as long as it's not a big like boss or a big target, you'll move it by 1 tile in the direction that you use it against it. These do have some uses. For example, people use them at Taraket to push him, to phase him into a different direction. They also can be used in elite dungeons as well to like group things up together to do a little bit of better AoE. And so you may want to grab them, seeing it's only a couple of mil, as yeah, they can be used in some places. They do the exact same amount of damage as the other abilities do. They literally just add pushing them 1 tile to it if it can be done. In fact, I do believe a lot of uses for this would be, say, using a bleed on the target, then pushing it, and that way you can force it to be moved. And then of course, because they moved, the bleed damage is increased. So if you are someone who uses magic or range still, then these may be something to grab, because they are useful in some pretty niche situations. And there we go. There is 7 things that you probably didn't know all of them existed in the game, or if you did, you may have forgotten about them as well. Again, this is aimed towards the average player. You guys that are comped and have done every single quest in the game, or have every single item and have played for 20 years, chances are you guys are going to know. But this video was not made for you guys, I guess. Hopefully you enjoyed it all the same if you did get this far. Comment down below how many you knew out of 7 if you didn't know all of them. And also the first person to comment an item that I don't know exists, I will pin that comment and well, you'll be pinned at the top of the comments. That's pretty much all you get from it. But either way, hope you all enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, sub to the channel if you're new, and I'll catch you all in the next one. See you later, guys. Bye.